Good evening. Welcome back to the Celtic Way. Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. Goals by Daizen Maeda and Rio Hatate sends Celtic 16 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. I'm Tony Haggerty at Haggerty10 on the X and Twitter handle, and I'm joined by Ryan McGinlay at the Ryan McGinlay, who's live somewhere outside Celtic Park. Ryan, have you warmed up, sir? -4, I believe it was, in the stadium at some points, but you seem to be warmed up now. Is that right?
There's nothing that that a car engine can't fix. Put the heating on for 10-15 minutes while I was doing up the end of my match ratings, which should be available in the next hour or so. Yeah, I'm heated up now. It was a very, very cold night at Celtic Park. Anybody that was at the game tonight will tell you that. It was absolutely freezing at the game, -3, -4 degrees. But I'm nice and warm now and ready to talk about yet another victory for Celtic at home against Dundee United, against the spirited Dundee United side, who I was very impressed with tonight, I must add.
I thought certainly the second half they showed a wee bit more ambition, Ryan, but I still didn't think that they were going to score. Middleton had an effort that was saved, and Dolby had an effort that was saved as well, but I didn't think that they threatened enough. You spoke off air just before we come on. They're pretty dogged and determined and resolute in defence. But the good thing for me was Celtic got to the dead ball line, as my father would call it, quite a lot during the game, and the final delivery into the box wasn't on the money. But they still got there. They were still creating and trying to fashion out chances. Someday, one of these times, they will. Every one of those balls will go across and somebody will be on the end of them. But goals by Daizen Maeda, his 14th of the season, Ryan, his 20th goal contribution. Excellent, really good pick-up from McCowan's initial effort, which is saved by Jack Walton. But one thing I want to touch upon with Daizen Maeda, and you might have noticed this yourself, you probably will, but I think he's a lot more mature and calm and composed in these instances now. He's brought that to his game. It's his best return since he signed from Yokohama. No surprise that, is it? But now those chances are getting in the net, Ryan, where in the past they were going wide and wayward and high. But clearly the manager's maybe gone to his head and told him, you need to be calm and composed in these situations. You look at his goal at Hampden, he was calm and composed from the minute he pulled that ball out the air, which was a difficult spinning ball, took a touch to control it, buried it. Tonight, it's all on the shot, isn't it? And it's the goal that relaxes everybody. And I'm delighted with that because he's quite clinical now, and he's shown that he's clinical now, isn't he?
Do you know, I think he's shown what he was shown in Japan, which was the reason why a lot of Celtic fans were quite excited when Ange Postecoglou signed him back at the end of 2021, going into 2022. I remember those three Japanese players coming through, Hatate, Maeda. It's great to see two of those three players. I know at Haggerty it didn't work out so well for him, but two of those three players, you know, three years on, are still making an impact in the starting lineup. They scored both goals tonight. Maeda with one and Hatate with the other one right at the end, which was great to see. So you've still got that influence of Ange Postecoglou's signings, even a few years on, and it's great to see the two of them. They've managed to integrate pretty well into the way that Brendan Rodgers wants them to play. Yes, they have off games, so does every player, but I think we expect so much from these Japanese players, Kyogo as well, that are coming into the side. I'm delighted for the two of them, and I do think there is maturity from Daizen Maeda. He's a player that, what age is he, 26, 27 now? So he's in the prime of his career. He realises his importance to the team, and not just his goal tonight, but I thought his defensive work was brilliant, tracking back, winning interceptions, just all the usual things that you would attribute to Daizen Maeda's game. But you need that on a cold night at Celtic Park against a dogged Dundee United side who are very well set up by Jim Goodwin. Clearly they deserve to be where they are currently in the Premiership, which is near, the European spots, or in the European spots at the moment. But Maeda brought that maturity in his overall performance, and he's become a vital cog in the Brendan Rodgers machine.
Yeah. Now, Crookshanks, Tommy Senior's brought that final ball was poor, need to finish teams off. I touched on that a second ago, Tommy, that Celtic got to the byline a lot and the final ball was lacking. I'm not particularly concerned about that per se, because I think that there will be a game when all of that will click into place. Because some of the stuff, especially in the first half, was really good. Some of it was slick, and it was just they couldn't find Ida. We never get any service again, and that's a bit of a worry that they can't find them with those kind of cutbacks. But I think it'll come. But Engels, to me, really settling down. Right, he got his third man of the match in 4 performances at Celtic Park. You gave your man of the match. Well, I'll maybe not spoil that for your player ratings, eh?
We just spoke about him. It's fine. We just spoke about who my man of the match was on the night. I just think it would have been Engels. It would have been Engels if it wasn't for the fact that Daizen Maeda got the assist for Rio Hatate for the second goal, which, you could attribute it just as much to Paulo Bernardo's dummy, to be honest with you, because it was a brilliant dummy from the Portuguese midfielder who had a really good cameo coming off the bench for the final 10 minutes. You need that from players, not just players that are starting, but players that are coming off the bench. They need to bring that tempo, and they did, especially on a cold night like tonight. But yeah, for me, Engels was brilliant again tonight, particularly in the first half. Thought he really had his influence all over the game. His balls into the box were really, really good. It's just nobody seemed to get on the end of them. The one that Austin Trusty did get on the end of, he hit the bar, and I was thinking, right, is this deja vu? Is it striking again? Groundhog Day, etc. But it just hit the bar and went over. But no, I thought he was class on grass again, to be honest with you, and he looks to be in really good form at the moment.
What I am hoping to see Engels do is put his shooting boots on at one point. He peppered the goal with shots, didn't he? And he was unlucky not to score. I think it's a bit harsh saying he had 5 great goal scoring. I think one of the commenters are saying he had 5 goal scoring opportunities and missed them all. I'm certainly not in that camp. I'm still delighted what he's producing, and again, I think it will fall for Engels at some point as well, and those will go in sooner rather than later. 16 clear, Ryan, great. Pendulum of pressure swings back to Rangers. They put the scoreboard pressure, apply the scoreboard pressure whenever you get the chance. Rangers go to Dens Park tomorrow night to face Dundee, knowing that they can't afford to slip up. So that's exactly what you have to do in these situations. But yeah, I think it was a solid enough professional performance, Ryan. I got the scoreline right as well, said 2-0, so I was quite chuffed at that. But yeah, I mean, there was a point in the second half where it tailed off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Can't deny that. Maybe Dundee United coming back into it, showing a wee bit of ambition, forcing some corners. Middleton, as I say, had a shot at goal easily dealt with by Schmeichel. Dalby a header, which was easily gathered by Schmeichel. But that apart, as I say, I never felt that Dundee United were threatening enough. But I think Celtic were kind of creating their own problems per se when Dundee United got some territorial advantage. But they finished strongly, which was a good thing for me, Ryan. And also you spoke about Engels' delivery from a corner again. Trusty smashes a bar. If that goes in, I think it's a different game. Because that was very early on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a weapon that Celtic can use,
I was delighted when they got the first goal, but from the first goal to the second goal, there was about 10-20 minutes where I didn't think they had as much control in the game as what I think they would have liked. And that's probably what Brendan Rodgers will look at ahead of the game against Ross County at the weekend, how his team lost control for those 15-20 minutes. But all of a sudden, it seemed as if Dundee United had a spring in their step. They were like, right, we can deal with everything that Celtic are throwing at us at the moment. Why don't we push out a wee bit and give the away fans something to sing about for 15-20 minutes? And, they did have a couple of half chances. Kasper Schmeichel had to make a couple of team saves. But apart from that, then for the final sort of 10-15 minutes, and the goal is included, and that Celtic were dominant once again. You look at the stats. The stats probably won't tell you about that 15-20 minutes of control, because you look at how much possession that they'll have had. They'll be in the 70s, probably mid-70s in terms of possession.
The first half, they had 83% possession, I believe, which was utter dominance.
I'm going to have a wee look at the stats just now, Tony, just to get these completely right.
They were making a big deal of the fact that it was 83% possession in the first half. Second half, it would have tailed off.
So they still had 76%.
So I think it would be as high as that, because, as I say, I didn't really think United put them under severe pressure. Forced a couple of corners, couple of efforts at goal, but I think to the eye, and also as well, because it's only 1-0, things appear a bit worse than they are, don't they? I remember the League Cup final when Celtic won 2-1 and Rangers scored, and everybody said Rangers were all over them. And in a cold light of day, I watched it back and I thought Rangers had about 5 or 10 minutes of that game, but it maybe feels a bit different because it's so precariously balanced. But I was quite, try that again, I was quite delighted that the subs came on and made an impact. Palma as well, lovely outside of the foot pass which led to the second goal. Bernardo's dummy was fantastic. And Hatate's finish, top draw.
Yes, it was a really Hatate-esque finish. He's had a few of them this season, those sorts of finishes, but I knew when it came to him that he was going to score that goal. I thought he was really good coming off the bench, and I do see the comments. We have given Palma some credit, given credit for that incredible ball to the outside of the foot to Maeda, who gets the assist for Hatate's goal. Also would like to give special credit to Greg Taylor, who I thought was brilliant tonight as well, playing in that inverted role. It can't be easy for him at the moment with the way that his contractual situation is going, but I thought he didn't show it whatsoever tonight. I actually thought he played with a bit of freedom, a bit of pizzazz that was really good down that left-hand side. I thought he played a lot better than the player that was on the opposite side in Alistair Johnson, who for whatever reason just not out of sorts, but maybe not to the level that we expect him to be at this moment in time. Still good defensively, but you're looking for a bit more on the overlap, and maybe his preparations were affected by the fact that Nicholas Kuhn picked up that injury in the warm-up. He would have been expecting to play with Kuhn, and instead he was playing with Yang. So that maybe affected his game. But, solid defensively, another clean sheet. But I was delighted with Taylor's contribution tonight in particular.
He was very good. When he comes in that inverted role and he's the auxiliary midfielder, he very rarely lets you down. But he had a lot of freedom tonight to do that. And he wasn't wasteful at all. Every time I seen him pick up the ball, he was finding a man. So I thought he was excellent, considering all the vortex that was swirling around him as he took to the field. I thought it was a solid and excellent display from Taylor, but it's what you've come to expect from him, really, isn't it? And
he's a solid pro, Tony.
Yeah.
A lot of games he won't set the header alight, but he doesn't need to. He's a Celtic left back. His first job is to defend and keep clean sheets, and thankfully he does keep a lot of clean sheets when he's in the back line for Celtic. I read a stat saying that Kasper Schmeichel's kept something like 17 out of 21 clean sheets in the league this season. That's incredible numbers for a goalkeeper. But he deserved it for tonight, for his intervention that he had in the second half. I couldn't remember him touching the ball in the first half, but he did get a couple of saves.
He touched it once, I think, because I think the Celtic TV mentioned that he touched it once, and it was after about 40 odd minutes, I believe. So
probably to defrost him, to be honest. He's been a great Dane stature in the goals for Celtic, because he had no touch of the ball and it was a really cold night out there. So I wouldn't have blamed him if he was doing some warm ups at the back, because he had nothing to deal with in the back line. But I was good that he got some touches, good that he kept that clean sheet, and he's always vigilant. He's always concentrating and ready for when a shot comes his way, and another clean sheet to add to a growing list for the goalkeeper.
11:15, guys, on a Wednesday night, and there's 475 people joining us. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate your company. Thank you for that. Another Celtic win. It's always good to talk about a Celtic win. 2-0 goals by Daizen Maeda, 14th of the season, and Rio Hatate. Saw Celtic over the line in this one. They moved 16 points clear, and that's all you can do, Ryan. The games come thick and fast in this month. You've just got to keep ticking them off, and Celtic are at this minute ticking them off. That's 2 good wins after the disappointment of Ibrox, which we'll not dwell on, but sets them up nicely for another tricky encounter in Dingwall on Saturday afternoon, 12:30. You and I will be braving the elements for that one, Ryan. I lost the coin toss, so I'm driving. But hey, that is what it is. Don't mind that. But yeah. But now looking forward to that, Ryan. I just hope the one blight on the night is the potential injury to Nicholas Coon. Need to see what the prognosis is on that. Probably tomorrow we'll get a clearer picture, but it seems to be that a thigh injury of sorts, Ryan, possibly, and we'll wait and see if he's going to be available for Saturday, or there's something amiss and he might miss from football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just having a wee read just now to see if there is any updated quotes about
Nicholas Coon.
Because I did see some circulating after the game, so I would need to check it I would need to double check it in order to get the proper prognosis and what was happening. Yeah, it's a big blow not having him, and I think the team suffered as a result because let's be honest, there is, and I'm not beating about the bush as Brendan Rodgers would say in a press conference. Yang is not the same level of player as Nicholas Coon. No. There is quite a few levels between the two,
and a lot came down. A lot of the ball came down on the right hand side for Yang to make use of it, and he couldn't, or he didn't. And that's, there's a real reliance on Coon, isn't there? In that outlet, but he's very productive, Coon, as his stats will show you. So again, Yang had a chance to kind of shine, and he's just not taking it, Ryan. Is he?
It's a thigh strain, apparently.
Thigh strain, right.
So it'll be interesting to see what the deal is with that in the next couple of days. Obviously, check out the Celtic Way, and you'll get the latest updates on the duration of that injury, how long Nicholas Coon is out. Hopefully, he's not out for any amount of time. It's just precautionary, and he gets back in the squad for Dingwall. But he's such an important player. Look at the goals and the assists. He's just as important. I think the two wingers are just as important at this moment in time in terms of their volume and goals and assists for both Maeda and Nicholas Coon. The two of them are both having brilliant seasons, and they're actually helping Ida and Kyogo and bailing them out a little bit, because the two of them haven't had the greatest seasons in front of goal. Yes, they've scored big goals. Well, Kyogo's probably scored more big goals than Ida, admittedly. But Ida's scored goals, but it's all about those two at the moment, and they're continuing to bring goals. It wasn't Coon tonight, but it was Daizen Maeda that got a goal and an assist, 2 goal contributions. That is exactly what you're looking for. That's exactly what Brendan Rodgers is looking for from his wingers, and I do agree with you that there is a maturity in his game that's getting shown now.
Oh yeah, I watched that finish, Ryan. That's a finish he would have skied over the bar. He would have snatched that. He would have hurried it, in previous seasons. But there's no surprise that he's got 14 goals this season, because it's clearly something he's worked upon with the national team manager, and clearly worked upon it with Brendan as well. Maybe something that Rodgers has helped him tweak. And also he's getting older and he's coming into his prime, as you say, and thinking a lot more about things, or he's in control of it a lot more. When he's that his goal at Hampden was all the evidence I need, pulling that ball out there, I say the one touch cushion, and then the finish, and you say to yourself, there's a real player in you when you really do think about what you're doing, and you can execute it in those moments. And again tonight he's executed, and it's a hard chance, because the goal was parried it, but there's still bodies in front of him, but he's made sure he's got it on target, and it's in the net, and it's a very important goal for Celtic after 22 minutes. Thomas John James Muirhead just coming in. I think it's a Brendan Rodgers quote. He felt a twinge in his upper thigh during the warm-up and didn't want to take the chance.
Quite right.
Correct. That's the best decision that Celtic will have made, and hopefully he'll be back for Dingwall. If not, I know Peter Grant was worrying people by saying if it's the thigh, then it can be 6 weeks. He had Jerry McCulloch all worried. He's in the studio, so again, that's just a player giving you the benefit of his expertise. It might not be as bad as that, and if we'll find out more tomorrow. So, but thank you, 557 people, Ryan, joining us. Amazing, 10 to 11 at night. I just can't believe that you all give us your company. It's very much appreciated, and we have a deal for them, Ryan, don't we?
We certainly do. I'll just bring it up on the screen right now if I can find it. Let me find it. I'm going through it. That's what happens when you get loads of stuff on the screen at the same time. Here we go. It's currently the transfer season. It's a transfer window, and we've got a very special transfer offer for all of you guys at the Celtic Way in terms of a subscription offer. If you go to www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe, then you can get 6 months of access on the website for just £1. With that, you'll be getting transfer latest, breaking manager and player interviews, match tactics and analysis with StatsBomb data, or data provider StatsBomb, scouting reports and player analysis from myself, Tony, Stuart, Alan and John, exclusive Celtic interviews from Tony, bespoke ad-free app that is available on Google Play and the Apple Store as well. So what are you waiting for? Go to www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. £1 for 6 months and join us as we go into 2025 in the best possible light and the best footing. Thank you very much, guys, and we really do appreciate all of your support that you bring us.
Yep, thank you to our new subscribers and our existing subscribers. Can't do this without you guys. It's not basically lip service. We do appreciate it, and we're very thankful to have you on board. And over nearly 550 people tells you that you seem to enjoy what we do. So we'll keep doing it, and we want to get bigger and better. And with your help and your subscription, that means we can. Francis Lester, it's a great part of Tony Ryan's ability to impersonate Sherpa Tenzing at the North. That way I went over your head, Ryan, but they climbed Mount Everest, Sherpa Tenzing, and I think it was some English expedition merchant whose name escapes me, but hey, it's not important. Anyway, I'm delighted, Ryan, that that's another 3 points for Celtic, because as this is a difficult period, because pitches are starting to churn up, you are starting to get injuries. The Kuhn injury bears that out, and all sorts of things can affect your rhythm and affect you as you go along. So another one ticked off, Ryan. What's that? 19 games now? 19 to go?
Something like that, yeah. You're putting me on the spot there with how many games we've got left until the end of the season. But it's what I will say, and what we know is true. It's another 3 points closer to where Celtic want to be, and that's retaining the Scottish Premiership title. As we need to say that it's still ongoing until the very final, until it's mathematically certain that Celtic will win the title. But at this point in time, being 16 points clear, yes, they've played a game more than Rangers, but they've put that pressure on them. You look at the depleted side that Rangers have got that are heading to Dundee, a Dundee team that are really good at home, especially. It's a big chance for Celtic to really put that pressure on. They've done so, and now it's up to Rangers to see if they can respond. And we all know that they haven't really been responding this season when it comes to away games.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the data and the statistics as well. So Celtic have done their side of the bargain, their side of the deal. It's up to Rangers to see if they can respond. Your money would probably say that they wouldn't, given their form this season away from home. That's not me being big-headed or arrogant. That's me just being honest with how they've played away from home. Celtic have done their business. Now it's up to Rangers to see if they can respond.
Correct. And I say it was having drawn 0-0 with the same team not that long ago and who set their stall out to play the same way, Ryan. That's why Daizen Maeda's opening goal was so important for Celtic, because it looked like it was heading down the same route, didn't it? That kind of game. Celtic were a wee bit more creative, granted, but they were resolute again. And it's no surprise that they're third in the league because they can defend well. And in Sam Dalby, they have an attacker that can score goals, as he did in the Tayside derby, got the winner. So, and when they came out to play, they caused Celtic. I wouldn't say they caused them many problems, but they got forward, didn't they? And showed a
They posed a couple of questions, Tony, which they weren't doing in the first half because it was a defensive backs to the wall performance where, I think maybe the goalkeeper could have done better with the parried shot. Because it was a bit of a team effort from Luke McCowan. He parries it straight into the path of Maeda, and it's a great finish from the Japanese winger. But second half, I think they can be quite proud of their performance. Don't mean for that to sound condescending or anything like that, but I thought that they were really impressive in some of their plays, especially in transition when they were going forward. But yeah, a good performance in the first half from Celtic. Bit turgid in the second, but the main thing is they got the 3 points, and it's another 3 points closer to where they need to be.
I'll ask you this, Lewis Palmer, if Kuhn doesn't make it, would you put him on the left and put Daizen Maeda on the right against Ross County?
I'd put Maeda on the right. No. I'd put Maeda on the left regardless. I think you need to play to your strengths. Okay. If Palmer's playing, then he'll need to play out of position on the right. because Maeda's so important. He's your main goal threat at this moment in time. Look at the record. Look at the amount of goals that he's scoring.
But you would trust Palmer to play on Saturday if Kuhn doesn't play? Because from what you've said is you've no faith in Yang to start and be effective. So
I might even throw another.
Go on then.
Another one. I'd play Kyogo on the left and Maeda through the middle in order to try and play the both of them. Or Ida. I'm backtracking now already.
I was just asking the light winger for winger type question.
I know, but see if you're struggling, then you could play Kyogo out wide as well, because he's played out wide for. He's not as effective, granted.
I'm also thinking with the fact that, if Celtic are willing to offload Palmer in this January window, and they are, because they've named a price, which is €4 million, which is more or less the money they paid for him, gives him that kind of shop window. And he's scored in Dingwall before, hasn't he, Palmer? So it's somewhere that he knows.
Right, he has.
So it was just going through my head that it would maybe make a wee bit of sense. It doesn't really matter where you play, but if you want to keep Daizen Maeda in situ, so be it. That's fine by me. And then play
it's not
position. But I know Palmer's naturally a left winger, so I don't think Daizen Maeda would be too much of an upheaval to play him on the right.
It's not exactly an alien position for Luke McCown, considering he started off his career as a winger as well. I don't know if he has the top on pace to be a winger. That's
also another option, yeah. So he's got a lot of options at his disposal, Brendan. My main thing was just just a winger for winger, a straight kind of swap. But obviously, if he goes with a winger, then I don't think Yang will be that man. I'm reliably informed, Ryan, that the climber I was looking for was Sir Edmund Hillary. I did know that, but I just didn't want to say it in case I got it wrong. But there you go. Shepard Tenzing allegedly climbed Mount Everest, but there you go. We talk about all sorts on here. It's educational, Ryan, for some of us. But yeah, no, I think that maybe one of his cons, because I think even if Kuhn is declared kind of fit, I don't know if I'd risk him at the Dingwall either. I'd let him sit it out and just make sure that he's fine, because Celtic have bigger games coming in this month.
If he's fit, if Nicholas Kuhn is fit, then he's got to play, in my opinion. I think every game is important, Tony.
Yeah, but would he be 100% fit after a strain or a knock like that?
Well, it depends really on how bad it is. If it's just a strain, then you would hope that he would be back in training. If he's back in full training, it's not as if he's missed numerous weeks. He was playing in the last game. So if he's fit, then he plays for me. It's a great surface at Dingwall. If he is fit, then he plays for me. But if he doesn't, then Celtic might need to shake up things, because I don't think Yang is the answer. And if Yang is the answer, then
what's the
I don't know if I want to know the question. and I feel bad in saying that, and I would never want to bring a Celtic player down, but
yeah.
I need something. I need something tangible from Yang. I see him putting balls into the box, and they're missing everybody. And I'm like, oh, that was a good ball, but was it a good ball? Because it didn't find anybody. It was just hitting to an area. It was a hit and hope rather than something that's measured. I see him holding on to the ball for too long. He takes far too many dribbles. Nicholas Kuhn does the same thing. The thing is, Nicholas Kuhn has so many goal involvements, because more often than not, he does make the right decision and does get on the end of on crosses, and not crosses. He usually is the one that's given the crosses in, but he's making things happen when he's on the ball. For Yang, I think he just needs a loan deal, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think he needs out of the club and a loan deal with maybe even a view to being permanent. I don't know if he's of the required level, but it would have been Forrest that was playing tonight if he was fit. Unfortunately, he's still out with an injury, so you're then going to the bare bones, really. And yeah, you would see the difference if it was Forrest, because you know that Forrest will get you goals and assists even at the age of 33. But in an ideal world, Kuhn plays, but you're just hoping that he's fit for the next one.
Yeah, nearly 600 people, guys. Thank you so much. Real pleasure to be here talking about another Celtic victory. Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. Maeda and Hatate on the score sheet. Fairly comfortable enough win, wasn't it, Ryan?
It was, yeah. Apart from those 10-15 minutes, but yeah, it's a clean sheet. It's 2 goals, a great place to be in, and on to the next one, really.
Yeah, which is Dingwall on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. Why do they always do that to Celtic, 12:30 and Dingwall on a Saturday or Sunday, usually, isn't it? But there it is. Now, assuming that it beats the elements, Ryan, I've not checked the forecast, but I did hear someone say there is forecast snow on one of the days in the lead up to Saturday, but I'm assuming it will beat the elements, or I'm hoping it will beat the elements, because I think Celtic need to play the games and just keep that momentum going.
Yeah, agree with that completely. Obviously, you don't want them to be putting themselves in any peril or danger in terms of travelling up there. But if the weather is permitting, then you want the game to be played and you want Celtic to get the points on the board. You'd rather have the 3 points than games in hand, because then you're closer to where you need to be in the league table. So yeah, if the conditions are fine, then play the game. That's what I would say.
Yep. Austin Trusty tonight, Ryan. You still liking what he's bringing? Unlucky could have had 2 goals in consecutive games. Crashed a header off the bar. Really unlucky. But I'm quite quietly satisfied with what he's done since he came back into the side.
A couple of important interceptions, I would say. One, because of the mistake by getting wrong side of the player, he still managed to come back and get the defensive block. Shows that I like a player like that even though he made a mistake, he rectified it very quickly and won the ball back. This is the centre-back partnership I want to see for the foreseeable. And it's good that Austin Trusty kind of came out today in that Celtic TV interview and sort of said, I've been ill. That's the reason why I've not been in the team. It's just unfortunate timing that the thing happened at the League Cup final when he was taken off at half-time, and then he didn't play for like 4 or 5 games, and then he came back. It was down to illness. Even though he was on the bench, he still wasn't feeling great. So that's the reason why he didn't make more of an impact. I just wonder if he was in better condition, would he have maybe came on at half-time at Ibrox? I guess we'll never know, but I'm glad to see him back in the starting lineup. And I thought he's not really put a foot wrong, apart from a couple of misplaced passes in the first game. I thought his passing was a lot better tonight. If a little bit safe, but that's fine, because he's just getting back to his timing and back to his movement, and I've got no problem with that whatsoever. Was quietly impressed with his performance.
I'm going to do the honourable thing here, Ryan, now and wrap up and let you get home and get warm, sir. All right? It's over half an hour there and over 600 people joining, 605. Guys, hope you've enjoyed it. There's a young man who's relying on the heat in his car. He needs to get home. He's watched a football match in -4, and I've been safely tucked up in the house. So we'll be freezing together on Saturday, Ryan. Look forward to that. But Celtic win 2-0. Celtic are 16 points clear. Scoreboard pressure applied. Pendulum swings back to Rangers tomorrow night at Dens. Job done, Ryan.
Job done. Yep. 3 points and up the road.
And that's where you're heading right now. You get up the road, sir. Take care. Drive safely. Guys, thank you so much for your company. We'll be back to do it all again tomorrow. I think it will be John and Hamish tomorrow, if memory serves, Ryan. Is that right?
Yep.
Indeed. And I think it's myself and Hamish on Friday. So we'll see you all soon. Take care and have a good one. All the best.
Cheers, guys. Good night.